What's up everyone, Walk here bringing you another Reddit Alchemy War recap. This one's going to be quite a bit different and probably a bit longer than the previous recaps. As you all know, we just got quite a big patch, mainly focusing around clan wars. The AI has changed, it makes cold-blooded harder. We got a new building, the sweeper, or air sweeper. And most importantly, they changed the war matching algorithm. And they also ended iMod. That's probably the most important thing. They ended sandboxing attacks. Anyway, this video is going to focus mainly around how to work around these mismatches created by the new war weight algorithm and the fact that walls now matter. And the result is that these wall-focused, high offense, more organized clans like the Reddit clan system has are going to get matched up against Town Hall 10s, with infernos, with bad point defenses, with bad splash defenses, and low-level walls, but they still have infernos. They're still Town Hall 10s, hitting you with 5 spells and 240 troop space. So, how can you combat this? So, we're going to start with some assumptions which I've already basically started laying out. If you're a Town Hall 9 heavy clan and you're getting matched up against a mismatch, you're going to be facing Town Hall 10s with low walls, low point defenses, probably low splash damage, but they'll have infernos, level 1, possibly level 2. You likely won't face level 3s unless you have your own Town Hall 10s. And, you're going to need 9s to hit this. We're also going to assume that because it's so early in the patch, the people with bases like this that you are going to be having to hit are going to be likely rushed players that are somewhat uneducated, have somewhat poor layouts. Reason being, it's still too early in the patch for people to make specialized accounts that exploit the algorithm. So, with that, let's jump into it. We're going to start with a 9.5 against a Town Hall 10. This Town Hall 10 that we're going to look at has a level 2 Inferno and a level 1 Inferno and a sweeper. And I believe it was number 8. So let's take a look. Yep. So here we have, oh sorry, these are both level 1. So we have 2 level 1 Infernos and an air sweeper. If you've watched my previous videos, or if you're in Reddit Alchemy, you definitely know this. I am a huge fan of a collapsing spiral. And so what a collapsing spiral is, you take the air defenses and you spiral around them, and you want the beginning of the spiral to collapse towards the end of the spiral. And if you've watched the previous recap, you know that I said I believe that the air sweeper is going to be vulnerable to collapsing spirals because you're going to start your spiral in a way that gets you behind the air sweeper. You're going to collapse behind the air sweeper. So this base wasn't a great setup for a collapsing spiral, but I applied the same logic. As you can see, very bad layout. Queen is exposed. Clan castle is pretty exposed. And, point defenses are pretty low. So let's watch how I did this. I'll put it on 2 times speed. I wait for the queen to jump out, and I drop my heroes to take out the queen. As you can see, the AI has definitely changed. The queen is shooting buildings while the king is getting killed at that close of a distance. I drop my zap spell, I take out the wizard and the archers, and I start my my lava loon attack. So as you can see, I drop the 2, and then the goal is to spiral around. Obviously, the pathing of the air defenses is actually not ideal for a collapsing spiral because these are going to come like this, but it's still a similar concept because rather than a clean collapse, it's going to collapse like this, and then the other is going to collapse like this. So it's not exactly a spiral, but it's a similar concept. And with these bad base designs, you're going to find yourself having to, adjust the concept slightly, but it's still fairly simple. So as you can see, they get on the sweeper, only 3 things get pushed back, and it's a very, very easy cleanup. So this is obviously a 9.5 hitting the equivalent of a Town Hall 8 or an 8.5 with Infernos. It's a very, very easy matchup. So your 9.5s and your 10s, well, your 10s will probably have to hit their 10s, but your 9.5s should really be able to do well because they're hitting these low point defense attacks or bases. The next replay we're going to look at is probably what more of you are interested in, and that's how to deal with Town Hall 10s as a Town Hall 9. So let's take a look at this base. And as you can see, another poor design. Queen is relatively exposed, and the Inferno towers are both set to single target, and they are both pretty exposed. So one thing you need to realize when dealing with single target Infernos is that you can't really use golems or lava. Well, you can use lavas, but that's a different story. As a Town Hall 9, you probably don't want to use golems, but they are vulnerable to medium health point defense targeting troops like giants, or as most of you are probably used to using, they're very weak against hogs, especially these level 1 single targets. So what Champs ends up doing here is that when he starts his hog portion of the attack, he does 2 Asian wall lines like this and like this, and what that does is it's going to take the splash damage from here and focus it away from the 3 or 4 hogs that are on the Inferno. And that's also going to allow him to drop a heal spell here and a heal spell here. It's going to keep the hogs not directly on the Inferno alive and collapse into the base in a uniform way so that his heal spells can be relatively simple there. You still want the 4 even heal spells, similarly to how you do it in a Town Hall 9 hog attack. So let's get started. He's going to do the lure. Again, bad layouts, easy clan castle lures. He's going to anchor up here. I'll zoom out more. Oh, he's going to fail the clan castle kill. There we go. And now he's going to start his cold-blooded portion of the attack. Look how much wider his funnel is. You're having to do 6 to 7 building funnels now rather than, just 3 or 4 buildings. In comes the Asian wall of hogs, and the heal spells are pretty much just in front of the Infernos. And then it's a pretty simple hog attack. He ends up making the adjustment mid-raid, which is really crucial. His cold-blooded got a lot of stuff. So he ends up adjusting, rather than use a heal spell here and a heal spell here, he ends up using the 3rd heal spell here, which is going to give him the 4th heal spell in that area. So it's a really, really good mid-raid adjustment. And there comes that last heal spell. And all of the defenses are out. His queen is still nearly full health, hasn't even phased yet. And his hogs just have to clean up. And he's got 2 wizards helping clean up. And that's a relatively easy 3-star. So remember, if you're facing single target infernos, try to see if you can use hogs. It's crucial. And now what happens when you're not dealing with single target infernos? What happens when they're not exactly exposed? The layout's slightly stronger. So here we have a level 2 multi-target and a level 1 multi-target inferno. Again, the clan castle is still pretty exposed if I remember correctly. Yep. You know, bad base designs by these guys. You're probably going to face similar from what I've seen in the GroupMe chats with other clans. You know, these are bad base design Town Hall 10s that you have to figure out how to take out as 9s. So for multi-target infernos, you want, and low point defenses and splash defenses, this is important, is the low outside defenses. You're not going to face these matchups with high point defenses and infernos. It's either going to be one or the other. So since they have infernos, it's low point defenses. Oops. So what we're going to see is a really heavy golem, heavy witch go wee wee. And the goal behind this is that the inferno towers are going to be stuck on the golems. And if a golem happens to die, it has 3 more targets. And he's going heavy witches because he wants the witches to always have skeletons in front of him. And so what he wants is he wants the skeletons taking lines similar to that. He wants lines in all 3 sections of the base, and you do that by having a lot of witches spread out. So let's take a look. He's going to use 4 golems, 7 witches. That's a very heavy go wee wee raid. Typically you're seeing maybe 2 or 3 golems, but 4, and usually maybe 6 witches is a heavy witch raid, and he's using 7. So, you know, he gets the clan castle lore, he drops his golems, and he drops the witches. Using the wizards to funnel them in. Wall breakers are going to break the wall. Queen dies relatively quickly. And now look at that. The inferno is targeting pretty much just golems. He drops the jump spell into the core, drops his king, and the king goes right to the infernos. And so now the infernos are on a king, not a big deal at all. The queen is shooting the town hall. The golems are still soaking the damage. We have 3 witches here going down the left side. We have 2 witches and a wizard, or 2 wizards going down the right side, and I believe 1 witch is there in the core that is hard to see. Or maybe this one's the one that's going to go in the core. Yep, there you go. So here we are, both infernos are dead, the town hall is dead. He's already got the 2-star, which is pretty much the goal of a town hall 9 attacking town hall 10. But now he's got, you know, skeletons blocking, and the heroes coming through with another witch. Coming through all 3 parts of the base, all 3 columns of the base, pretty much at the same time. And as you can see, the golems are still tanking the front line, the witches are still spawning skeletons. And I'm going to be honest, I think this was a lucky 3-star. But nonetheless, it was a strategy designed to get a really high 2-star and possibly luck the 3-star, which is what you want to be doing. You want to be planning these really high probability 2-stars. And so that's how I think you should be working on these unfair matchups, you know. Have your 9.5s really shouldn't struggle at all against these really low Town Hall 10s. Lava Loon is definitely, it's nerfed, but I don't think it's even as significantly nerfed as maybe the double giant bomb buff was for hogs, or the nerf to the hogs. So I think your 9.5 should really be still working with Lava Loon variants. And, you know, hog those single targets, go wee those multi-targets. And I'm probably going to say if it's a single and a multi, you probably want to stick with that really heavy golem and heavy witch, and you'll probably likely only get a 2-star, but you know, I think these matchups could be here to stay as Supercell tries to combat the 0.5 strategy, and it's going to give rise to a different type of exploit in the war algorithms, because as long as there are people thinking about how to gain an advantage, somebody will find a way. So the best that we can do is figure out how to hit 10s as 9 Town Hall 9s. So I hope you learned something. This is Walk from Reddit Alchemy. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good night.